It is so precious and yet only happens once. There are few individuals worthy of our praise, our thanks, and of being remembered as a hero in our lifetime. One such individual, worthy of our respect, admiration, and thanks, is Patrolman David Guttenberg of the 6A Precinct. David was a police officer, husband, father, a friend to all who knew him. In 49 years, Patrolman Guttenberg accomplished so much. He was a United States Army veteran, rising to the rank of machinist sergeant. After the Army, his service continued. He became a letter carrier for the United States Postal Service. 1961 was a year changed for David. It was a year that his true calling came about. He enrolled and graduated from the NYPD Academy. By all accounts, his service with the department was exemplary. From 1961 to 1975, Patrolman Guttenberg was assigned to the traffic division, patrolling the garment district in the city. No easy post, especially if you know the traffic situation there. In 1975, the 6A Precinct was fortunate enough to receive Patrolman Guttenberg. Colleagues have remarked that during this time in the department, he was the most joyous. He always took pride in his job. His uniform was always clean, pressed, shoes polished. Most importantly, he took responsibility of his patrol post, which was the 86th Street shopping district. Every store owner knew his name. He was the essence of community policing, the beat cop, the father figure to those who needed one. He was an officer in many hats. Policing is not about arrests or summonses. Patrolman Guttenberg was a representative of law, order, and compassion. A compassionate soul who loved his family. A compassionate soul who loved his family, community, and precinct so very much. Now, I want you to take a step back in time. I want you to imagine a snowstorm. Think about it. Public transportation is shut down. Snow is up to your knees. Cold wind blowing in your face. The streets are deserted. David is inside with his family, enjoying the warmth of his home and company of his loved ones. He is alerted that his next door neighbor is very sick and needs to get to the hospital. An ambulance is unable to reach this neighbor. Without hesitation, David carries the neighbor to his personal vehicle. What normally would be a 20-minute ride to Victory Memorial Hospital takes over 2 hours. David drove through blinding snow, heavy winds, and dangerous road conditions. A woman lived that day due to David's sense of duty, even when not on the clock. Through my interviews with his colleagues, they described him as a gentleman, an officer who did his duty day in and day out. He protected his family from the job for fear of worrying them. His children told me, except for a meeting with friends in Coney Island, where they saw him unexpectedly while manning a special detail foot post, they never saw him in uniform. He was a diligent member of the NYPD Hero Society, attending their fraternal meetings every month. On Christmas and Easter, He was the first officer to volunteer to work so that other colleagues could take off the holiday and spend time with their family under the Christmas tree. 1970s policing in New York City was no picnic in Central Park. You had to be on guard on all times. The weekly newscast was either filled with coverage of the war in Vietnam, protests at home, or the war on crime, which the streets of Bay Ridge were not immune to. It was a different world. On December 28, 1978, after the Christmas lights dimmed for the season and the prospect of a new year was upon us, Patrolman David Guttenberg and Patrolman William Peters were on their lunch hour in their sector, the 86th Street shopping corridor. They saw a double-parked car in the bus stop on 86th Street and 7th Avenue, a pure ticketable offense, obstructing the roadway. Well, Patrolman Guttenberg was not about tickets. He was about compassion, a family man with 4 beautiful children. He knew what a financial hardship a ticket can cause a family, especially during the holiday season. Patrolman Guttenberg, with his good heart beating, went looking for the driver of this car. He went door to door on 7th Avenue, asking the shop owners about this vehicle. When he walked into Dyker Auto Supply, now Dyker Park Bagels, he walked into the halls of history. A sacrifice that is remembered nearly 40 years later. Not one moment represents Patrolman Guttenberg. I want to make that clear. But many moments, known or unknown. The work of a patrolman is never ending. Each day you go out to make a difference. From talking to a wayward youth, to saving a person in a car accident, to hours of silence on patrol. It is a profession that is not for everyone. Even after his sacrifice in the line of duty, Patrolman Guttenberg was so loved and highly respected by the community, especially those along the 86th Street shopping corridor. All the stores on 86th Street donated to the 6A Precinct Memorial Fund in honor of David, which was $10,000 at the time. The Century 21 security manager at the time, Ira Clayman, remarked, "To know him was to love him." He always helped out, even with the shoplifters in the store. He would try to work out the problem, then arrest him. His wife, Barbara, whose pain was evident in her husband's passing, turned her fortunate situation into a force for good. She was instrumental in starting a bulletproof vest program in conjunction with the PBA at the time. She is also a hero in this because anyone who could raise 4 children alone after such a loss is someone who needs to be recognized. Let's give thanks to Barbara Guttenberg. People, including the Guttenberg family and my own family, have asked me, why Patrolman Guttenberg? What connection drove you to this day? How as a 28-year-old did this interest you? The only answer I can give everyone, he was and continues to be my guardian angel on patrol. Sometimes in life, some things can't be explained. This is one of them. This street renaming represents remembrance of a hero to us all, and to a loving father to you, Helene, Eileen, Amy, Mark. He loved you all very much. His spirit continues to guide you. Remember his smile. Remember his laughter. Remember the times together. To the extended Guttenberg family, and future generations of Guttenbergs, with this street sign, you will have a place to honor your family member, to continue to tell the story of his life. A life, although tragically cut short, a life well lived, a legacy that continues to be honored. Ladies and gentlemen, The greatest gift we can give someone who passes away is to remember them. Remember what they stood for. Compassion, love, professionalism, hero. A hero to us all, Patrolman David Guttenberg. May God bless the Guttenberg family, the NYPD, the Bay Ridge community, and the United States of America. Thank you.
Auxiliary Sergeant Christian Durante.